This is your WW3 news of a Thursday morning. I think the whole world has seen what happened in Bologna about a week or two ago. A certain Abraham Fakir was stopped by the police because he was disturbing the neighbourhood, and it was a threat to public order, law and order basically. And there's been a lot of speculations accusing the coppers of murdering. It's typical of the lefties here in Italy or anywhere in the world. They say it's another George Floyd case. But what is even more worse, you've got the lefty press here and the liberal press overseas, like CBS, belling this shit out, and so on. Then you got the niece of this geezer comes on social media and saying, I want €3 million to dry my tears for compensation for the loss of my uncle. She's been saying what such a hard-working person he was loved by the community and the family. Well, most of this stuff doesn't correspond to the truth. He's not a hard-working member of the family. Passed most of his time dedicated to commit crimes. He's got a whole series of criminal records long than your arm, my dear. And the fact is, he's been suffering from mental disorders. 40 days, family of his, or even other public institutions just abandon these people and tell you the truth. Even if it was prescribed therapy, he didn't take it. You can blame the institution for that. Because I don't know how he started this psychiatric therapy, whether it's his own free will or was he forced in the hospital. They should tell us. And regarding the autopsy, the cause of his death, the body cam of that copper, which is his private bought own device, just so you know, probably for these type of cases, especially when it comes with ethnic minorities, and you've got these liberal lefties in the middle, you know, they turn criminals into martyrs, which, you know, people are sick and tired of, really. They don't buy this shit anymore. I'll just say to this girl, don't get your high hopes on suing the Italian government or having these two coppers in prison because, or convicted, because it's very unlikely. Because obviously, probably may know, you should ask your solicitor about this. If they pass that legislation, you may not be entitled for compensation. You can't sue the Italian government, you can't sue the coppers, you can't sue no one. Because the law states clearly, a victim who has a criminal record and committed some offence, the family has no right for compensation. In a certain sense, it's right, because this only creates a type of business like the solicitors or the lefty causes, especially like this incident here. They make money on it. And obviously they use these so-called resources or immigrants as a Trojan horse for their political battles. And my dear, I heard you're living on social security, like the most of your family does, and the members of the community. Probably only 10% of foreigners regularly here in Italy actually work. 90% of the welfare state. Typical lefty communism culture. And you just have to see what the autopsy says. There's a lot of shit going around saying, oh, it's like this, it's like that. Even having probably have performed an autopsy, you may need about a month or two before the results are ready. Because when it comes to these cases, there's various experts for each side. For your side, for the public prosecution side, for starters. And obviously, judging the way you talk and how you structured certain issues, I should say all of it, you're just talking like a lefty politician and end of story. That's all. If people can't see through this, you've got to be really stupid in this case. Because propaganda of any type, it has its indoctrination ways on people. And I suggest, well, I'm not going to suggest nothing. Let's face the reality, my dear. Your uncle is no saint. And God knows that day when he lost his rag, was he taking drugs or was he in a paranoid nervous meltdown? Because some videos of the neighbourhoods which is coming through has demonstrated he's been banging his head against the garage door and just absolutely been a nuisance, which they're called disturbo pubblico pietà in Italian, which, you know, the police has to be intervene. And obviously patients with psychiatric problems, I know for sure they're not that easy to deal with. They have a force, probably due to superproduction of adrenaline, which due to their illness is like putting an engine on turbo all the time. And that means it has serious complications on health at the end of the day, physically and mentally as well. If you start crying wolf and start barking up the wrong tree, I should wait for the results. It's probably obvious the police have followed the procedures. If you don't know, do a bit of homework, my dear, about this. And this vendetta and compensation things, you know, the times when they see these foreigners doing this shit, you know, you're just really feeding the fire in a certain sense. And be an example for your community. Earn your way in society. Find yourself a job. The problem is most of you lot, regarding higher education after, secondary school, or even before, school dropouts, end of story.